My name is George Martinez, the independent choice for mayor of Anchorage, and I approve this message. Small businesses and the working class are the heartbeat of this city. You keep our streets clean and safe. You care for our sick and teach our young. You spend time on the slope or on deployment. You feed our city. You built it. As your mayor, I will deliver Anchorage back to you, the working people, by ending party politics. No more left versus right. I will remove barriers for success and clean up crime while keeping taxes low. I'll unify our diverse community and get us moving forward. My name is George Martinez, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Paid for by George for Anchorage.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pre-election night Tell George Live pop-up. I wanted to come on live and just pop up with you all tonight, give a little connection, a little recap. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. But before I begin and have our conversation, it's going to be a short one tonight. As always, I begin with a land acknowledgement. I'm right now tonight at our campaign headquarters, which is finally settling down for the day. As you would imagine, a lot of energy, a lot of outreach, and we're getting the word out to all of our networks, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We need everybody to vote. Tomorrow's election day, tomorrow before 8 p.m., get those votes in, turn your ballots in, show up in person and vote. But I'm in Mountain View, and I want to begin with recognizing that this is America's most diverse neighborhood. That's where my campaign headquarters is. And we're located in Anchorage, Alaska. So I begin with a land acknowledgement, recognizing that I am on the ancestral land of the Dena'ina Athabaskan, whose stewardship once was and remains today. And if you're with us in Anchorage, you could give that moment of reflection as well to our stewards of the land. And if you're tuning in or watching this from wherever you may be, you can also give a moment of reflection to the traditional, ancestral, Aboriginal stewards of the lands where you may happen to be today. Thank you all. We've been doing that from the very beginning. I'm really proud of being a part of the community that recognizes the foundation of our solidarity through working together across all of our diversity. Our rich diversity of cultural diversity, identity, orientation, national origin, where we come from, languages spoken. We have over 100 languages spoken in our school district, and it didn't happen just overnight. It's not an instantaneous thing. It's a development thing. It's a thing that grew. We are already known in Anchorage as the crossroads of the world. And that's an invitation for us to be both a destination for the crossroads of the world, but also what we have become, a multicultural city that has in its fabric, in its lifeblood, in its everyday movement and vibration, the dynamics of all of those 100 some odd languages spoken in our school district, of that diversity of origin, of background. That's what makes our city unique and special. Yes, it's also a gem, a beautiful city that requires that we're all ready to roll our sleeves up. Roll our sleeves up to work together for what's best for our city. That should be what our focus is. That's been my guiding light this whole entire time. And I thank you all for being with us today. We're at election time. When I began this journey, I said at that point, as I say today, that I know that the future of my family depends on the future of this city. That was the original and the fuel, original seed of the question of whether or not I would approach this journey. The other part of that question was an honest question, a vulnerable one that I brought to many members across the community. Having had the background that I have, 25 years across the public and private sector experience, from an educator, as a university professor, as a diplomat for the U.S. Department of State across the Western Hemisphere, for Democratic and Republican administrations, as a community organizer focused on making sure that individual liberties and freedom would be upheld, not undermined by Wall Street bankers and interests that would otherwise take away our ability to have a thriving community based on our interests locally. Because I believe that all politics is local. And that's what's beautiful about our city, that we bring these global dynamics, we bring all of these differences into a space where we find each other because we're all focused on a few core values. And one of those core values is protecting this wonderful city. This city that has given so much to so many, but the city that also has challenges that we all can confront together and move our city forward. There are many folks that want to look left or right. I think there are great ideas on the left and on the right. I think there are terrible ideas on both sides as well. There are great ideas in a variety of places and bad ideas from everywhere. That's the point of the diversity of our city, is that we could still disagree with dignity. We could still find what's most important to us, and leadership will help us have a work plan to be able to roll our sleeves up and still get things done. This campaign has taught me so much. It has reinforced my belief in the beauty of our city. Not only the physical beauty of what we can become, a colorful, vibrant city, but also the beauty of the diversity of our interests. I have met people who we will disagree with each other on a majority of issues, but because the leadership that I practice, the way I bring people together, has inspired people to say, I'd rather disagree and work with you on what we can agree on than to not be a part of this movement and not be a part of this moment. And that's a powerful testament to what we can accomplish together. So I thank you all for being a part of this. We've had a tremendous journey, and we're almost there. I encourage everyone who's listening today to reach deep down and ask the question, what more can I do to drive Anchorage forward, to move this election forward? Who else do I know? How many other friends do I know I can reach out to and make sure that they turn out to vote? Or as we say, make sure they turn up the vote. You don't have to encourage them even who to vote for. Obviously, we got a lot of friends and a lot of supporters, but we want people to vote. It's so important. Turnout is so low right now. It's so low. And one of the things that I've been focused on for many years is increasing turnout, increasing voter participation across all of our community, but especially our most vulnerable, where turnout is often the lowest. Disenfranchised elements of our community, or people who have just not gotten the deep connections over time, and subsequently there's a different degree of participation. We can move our community forward. We can. Our voices are strong enough. They're loud enough. Now it's time to turn it into our vote. Get those ballots in the mail. Get those ballots in the drop box. Today's the day. This is the last period. Tomorrow, on April 6th, by the time people will be watching this, we have until 8 p.m., Tuesday, April 6th, to get all those ballots in, to make all those phone calls, to get everybody's voice into the box, everybody's voice into the ballot. Anchorage is a city on the edge of transition. It's been there. We've long asked the questions, what are we going to do next? What do our economic opportunities moving forward look like? What kind of education system can we have? These are long-standing questions. And now we do have the opportunity to shape, to address, to bring those questions into a space where we actually have solutions, where we can focus on an economy that works for everyone, with strong jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities that give families the ability to have the quality of life that Anchorage is known for, that we're here for, that quality of life. But we also want to focus on making sure that our economy is growing through strong investments in infrastructure, putting people to work, building our city back, building our city up, making sure we have the affordable housing and the intergenerational senior living that is accessible for everyone. Strong communities are intergenerational, and that should be part of our infrastructure investments. Public transportation as well. These are the things that connect our workers and the people who are working class to the jobs that they have today. We need to improve their ability to get to work and have the level of economic opportunity that we can have. That's a focus on with public transportation. That's also what drives new industries. So innovation is critical to us. But I want to focus on education right now for a moment, because when we invest in the cradle to career and beyond pipeline, when we invest in pre-K and early childhood education, we're helping families get back to work. I believe in economic opportunity for everyone. Let's remove the barriers of participation so that we can have people and families having the opportunity to better themselves and improve the lot for their families. Early childhood investments are going to help us get there. A strategic alignment to the university. There are things we can do. We've talked about them during this campaign. It's right before us. We can reach out and grab it, making sure that our university is helping to catapult those that are going there into the workforce of tomorrow, but also making sure that we're deepening the opportunity, the alignment with the municipality, both for experiential learning, for research and development, helping our city grow through knowledge-based economy and value-added systems. And lastly, let's really focus on what we could do together for public safety. Public safety is on everybody's mind. One way, shape, or form, most of us have been affected by some issue related to public safety. But let me put a historic note on something. Domestic violence, interfamily violence, long-standing chronic issue, legacy challenges in our city. For many, many years, we've looked at those issues as part of public safety. I want to begin to turn the corner on addressing domestic violence and interfamily violence here in our city. I want to declare, as mayor, I will declare domestic violence, interfamily violence, a public health crisis. We will begin to use and leverage new resources to bring to bear on these legacy challenges that affect the quality of life for so many. The trauma, the hurt in our community, the ACEs scores that are elevated, the supplemental challenges and problems that go along with that work, drug and alcohol abuse and dependency, prevention for our young people, after-school programming, healthy spaces, the ecosystem of making sure that our young people, that our communities can flourish, that we can be safe, that we can thrive, and that people can find the help that they need to be able to turn the tide on some of the legacy challenges that our city has faced for many, many years. And yes, I'm originally from a different place. And that's one of the beautiful things about Anchorage, Alaska. Everyone's from somewhere, finding their home here. And what I know is that when we get here and we put our foot down and we roll our sleeves up and start to work together, we become part of the community. And that's what's welcoming about our city, but that's also the fuel of what's going to help us move Anchorage forward. Yes, public health for the entire family. We should be striving to tackle the equity challenges in a city as diverse as we have. We have all of the resources necessary when we align them with a vision of an inclusive city where everyone can thrive. By working together, we're going to get there. And everyone, it's time now. I have another vision, lots of things. You have any comments, feel free to chime on in. We're almost over. I want to be short with this short message. I want people to share it. I want people to have another glimpse into what we've accomplished this year. We've accomplished a remarkable feat already. We have assembled the most diverse campaign for mayor, not only in the field this year, but I dare say ever. It is as diverse as the city we live in. There are Republicans and Democrats and independents supporting my campaign. There are people from Anchorage. There are people from Alaska. There are Alaskan natives. There are people who have lived multiple generations and their families were here as settlers, pioneers in their world. There are people who are new arrivals, who are rolling their sleeves up because they love our city and they want to work together. From all walks of life and all backgrounds. There are people who in our tent, in our movement, who would never agree before, who may never agree on issues. I've mentioned this before. But they can find a way forward through this vision of bringing people together to work on what's best for the city, to tone down the toxic partisanship, to reset our economy, to rebuild our education, and to make sure that public safety works for all of us. This is the things that we all want. This is why we're finding each other. This is why our campaign is so important. This is what we've been able to accomplish, and we have just a few hours left now to continue to drive this forward into the polls. I have been campaigning every single day for quite some time. I am fortunate as a family that I have a very good and flexible employment situation. I'm also fortunate that my wife has a small business, and we've been able to work through this very difficult year. But I know that there are so many working families and individuals that I have met this year who do not know what the future holds. They don't know if the city that they want to be in is the city that they can stay in. My pledge as the mayor of the city, if I am so fortunate to get your vote, if I'm so fortunate to be in that position, to get to the runoff, is to make sure that I will work every single day for the working families of our community, for the individuals and our families who want this city to be the city for their families, who believe like I do that the future of all of our families is dependent on the future of this city, that we could bring all of our talent, we could bring all of our energy and all of our creativity to making it beautiful, to making it work for everyone. That doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything, but that's the beauty of diversity. That's the beauty of family. Who hasn't had a family argument? It doesn't change the fact that we're family. Let's find each other again. Let's celebrate that we all can participate, even if we're disagreeing. Let's recapture civility, that we can disagree with dignity, but know that the education of our young people is more important than political debate. Unless the debate is about not funding our children, let's focus on what's important, getting the outcomes we need for our young people. Let's move Anchorage forward with a vision that's inclusive for all of us. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart today. We will have much more to say as we go into Election Day. But again, I am now coming from Mountain View, the home of our campaign headquarters, at the Umoja co-working space on 4119 Mountain View Drive, where we've been since February. This is America's most diverse neighborhood. We have the most diverse high schools in the country, a vision that's inclusive for everyone, of our diversity, of backgrounds, of ideas, of political parties, that we can all find Anchorage as the city that helps us work together, because working for Anchorage is the most important thing that we can all do. Yes, again, there are challenges, but I believe in us. And I tell you now, as we close in on Election Day, I'm getting calls every single day from people. Every time we're outside, we're getting honks. People are hearing the message The word is getting out. Now I need you all who are tuning in now, and when you tune in, when you can, make those phone calls. Call your friends, call your neighbors, make sure everyone fills out those ballots. There are a lot of votes out there. A lot of people haven't voted yet. We have a chance to continue to drive this narrative into the runoff. Let's get there, everybody. Let's get there. All I need is for each one of us to commit to getting our networks going, making sure that everybody has voted. If we turn out, we'll win. This is what we can do right now for tomorrow. It's in our hands, everybody. Thank you all. I really appreciate everything that we've been able to accomplish. We're a breath away from moving forward to the next round. Have a great night. Be safe. We will see you tomorrow on Election Day. Today, for everybody who's watching it today, on Election Day, we'll be outside waving signs, making those final phone calls, and then we'll be back in Mountain View, America's most diverse neighborhood, for the final countdown. Thank you all, everybody. Have a great night. I am honored and humbled to be here with you all, to have walked this walk with you, and to build the foundation for what's next to come. Have a great night. I'll see you on the streets.